Hey guys, this is Mr. H. I am doing question 7 from the June 2025 Regents exam. Um, I'm going to do it the way I think most of my students did it, and then I have to make a couple of changes to make sure kind of going forward we're good on this. Basically, they've given us a function. They want us to calculate the average height of a tomato plant weeks after it's been transplanted. They've given us the data in the table below, and then they want to know between the weeks 4 and 12, what was the average rate of change in inches per week. Now, whenever you see average rate of change, let me tell you what I want you to do. Whenever you see average rate of change, I want you to literally cross it out, and I want you to replace it with slope, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the slope between the weeks of 4 and 12. Now, I'm going to use the spreadsheet, and in this particular case, the spreadsheet will work using all the data, but generally when they give you slope, remember you only need 2 points. So they're telling us they want us to use 4 and 12, and we have to use those 2 points, and that'll give us the actual slope. So I'm gonna do it that way secondly, but I'm gonna show you if you just use the spreadsheet like I normally say. My rule is, I think it's strategy number 3. Whenever they give you a table of X and Y values, basically you should be using a spreadsheet. So let me go grab the calculator and show you. So I've already entered this data. I've gone here. I've also put the X and Y. Now all I have to do is do menu 461. Menu 461. Now you can see that this is not a perfectly linear, but it tells you that the slope is about 4.6. If we were rounding it to integers, we'd say it's about 5. Right. Now, if you go to the answer choices, none of them match. One says 6, 8, 48. But you should see from that data that it can't be either one of those. So that's way too high. So you got two choices. My choice is choose the one that's closer. In this case, it would be 6. Now, if you did that, if you use that reasoning, you're right, because that is the answer. Now, I'm going to show you what they really want. When they do average rate of change, they only want you to use 2 points from the table. Even though there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, they only want you to use 2. So that's what you have to do. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to delete the ones that we don't need. Oops. I'm going to delete the ones we don't need. Now, we need the 4. We don't need the 6 week mark. We don't need the 9 week mark. We don't. Right, so I'm getting rid of the X and Y, and then we don't need the 16-week mark. They want those 2 data points. All right, now that I've done that, if I go back, it'll recalculate it, and you can see that the slope is actually 6. So that's your answer, and that's what they wanted you to do. Now, I'm going to show you one more way of doing this. This is probably the simplest way. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. And basically all you're going to do is you're going to do the ratio of the differences of the y's on top and all right, the x's on the bottom. So it's going to be 12 minus 60, though that's the y values, right? And I started with 12, so I have to start with 4. 4 minus 12 on the bottom. And then you just press enter, and it'll calculate the slope for you. It'll simplify it, everything. So the slope is 6. The average rate of change is 6. So that's your answer. But I want you to see that you can still use the spreadsheet. You just have to realize you only need 2 points. That's always the case. Whenever you're doing average rate of change, you need 2 points. So that's it. I'm going to stop and I'm going to post.